Hello, in the last videos we have developed this application where the user could enter their preferences like this, enter a password size, and they can generate a random password like this. So in this video we're going to upgrade this application to allow the user to save a password. We're not there yet, but in this video we are going to open this interface that is going to have these 6 fields, and when the user enters the mandatory information and they save, they are going to be redirected to this activity. So the objective is to save passwords to a database. This is going to be achieved throughout this series. So let's get started with the interface. I'm going to go to my code right here. I have prepared some strings so as not to waste so much time, so I'm going to put them here in my strings.xml file, and I'm going to create an activity that I'm going to call password editor activity. So let's go here, new, let's just go with empty activity. Alright, here password editor activity. We don't need the layout, let's save that. Alright, let's add context, set content, and inside here password editor. Let's add the function here, password editor, and add a text. Let's import everything, import this one as well, and add a composable tag. Let's go to our password generator activity, and I'm going to copy the preview. Let's place it here. This is password editor and it's password editor preview. Let's split. Wait for it to load. Alright, that's good. Now let's prepare our password editor activity. I'm going to need I'm going to start with the basics, so just the title so far. So let's add a surface. Inside I'm going to add a column, and in here I'm gonna add the text. I'm gonna import those, and here string resource dot string dot create new password, and then modifier dot align alignment dot center horizontal, center horizontally, and then style equals material theme typography headline small. Alright, now this looks about right. I am going to need a password, a model that I'm going to call saved password that would contain all the attributes that I'm going to need. So I'm going to create that. First, I am going to change the package's name here. So instead of having password, I'm gonna call it password gen, and I'm gonna create a new package here, and I'm gonna just call it password. And in this package, I'm gonna create a Kotlin class or data class, saved password, and in here I'm going to add my properties. We are going to need title, string, and an ID, so var ID integer, and then var login string, var password string, then var site URL string as well, and this is site URL, and then description. And then we're going to add some other properties like created and updated. So it's going to be a date.time. I think it's best if we use long, so it will be later on stored in the database, and then updated. Alright, that looks about right. Let's now go back to our password editor activity, and here I'm going to add var saved password by remember, and here mutable stage of password or saved password. Alright, let's import these things like so. And yeah, let's add the text fields. Basically, to save time, I have prepared some composables, basically a password field and a simple text field. Going to add them here. Create a package. Instead of theme, I'm gonna call it helpers, and inside here, new Kotlin file, composables, and I'm just gonna copy everything. So this is going to require some additional elements that I'm going to import like this. And for these icons, I'm going to need to add an implementation. So let's go to our build and add, let me just get it, an extension of the icon, material icons. Alright, let's import everything now. Let's import this one as well. And back to our password editor activity, we are going to call the text field. So here, txt field. Let me clear this up. And here, value equals saved password dot title on change. Gonna fill that up later. Modifier equals modifier dot fill max width, and padding, gonna give it a horizontal 5 dp. Let's import that as well, and I'm gonna add the label, string resource dot string dot name. This is going to be our password name, and then we're going to add the username or the login. This is going to be login, and then we're going to have the password. So here pwd field, and for the password, this is going to be password, I believe. Let me just double check that. For the text field, it's already set here, so we don't need the label. And yeah, let's add the other properties here. The site URL, here change this to password. Here site link, and lastly the description. Here I'm going to add another property, height n, and minimum equals to 80 dp. Alright, this is description. Let's see how that looks like. It should be something similar to what we have seen in the targets application. Yep, that's looks like it. The pattern is not being displayed as it should. Let me double check the modifier. So fill max width is already set. Oh, let me remove those properties. And the padding. Okay. Right. I'm going to have to add this in the password field as it's not mentioned. And lastly, I'm going to add the button. So here, button. And inside I'm going to add the string resource r.string.save. And for the properties, going to add a modifier equals to modifier.fill max width. And on click, can set that later, enabled. So basically for the save button to be enabled, these mandatory properties, they need to be there, name, login, and password. So let's add that here. Saved password dot mandatory fields exist. And let's define this here. Return title is not empty and login is not empty, and lastly password is not empty. Alright, this should disable the button here. And let's go back to our column here to add some more properties. Modifier equal to modifier dot fill max size, and then padding 5 dp, and also adds more properties, horizontal alignment center horizontally and vertical arrangement center. Wait for it to build, see the results. Also going to add a spacer here before the button. Modifier dot height 10 dp. Alright, let's wait for it to render the preview. Okay, that looks about right. Let's now set the on change. So here saved password equals saved password dot copy title equals to it. I'm gonna do the same here. Instead of title, it's login, and let's add the same for the password. Same again for the site URL. Same for the description. Alright, now let's test this out. So let's go to our password generator activity. Let's see the rendered results. Basically, we're gonna add a new button at the bottom here. So I'm gonna duplicate this. And for the onClick, this is going to change. For the enabled, basically this button will only be enabled if the generated password is not empty. And for the text, it's going to be save. And for the onClick, we are going to need a context. We have that here. Here we do. So context dot start activity intent, and here we're going to pass our intent. So here context, and then we're going to start password editor activity. All right, this is going to start this activity, and at the end here, for when the user clicks on save, it should send the data and then close. So here it's going to be context.finish. Gonna need to define the context. So let's go all the way up. Here val context equals to local context at current. And here it has to be passed as an activity. Import that. All right, let's now start our application to see the results. Let's launch that. There's something that is not right. Let's rebuild the project. Okay, let's try that again. All right. There is our save button here. When we click on generate, it gets enabled. When we click on save, there's the interface. We can enter our data here, the password, we can see it or hide it. And this is going to be the link and the description. Basically, those are optional. So if they are empty, that's going to be fine. But these cannot be empty. So if it's empty, the button save is hidden. Alright, when we click on save, we're back in here. So that's it for this video. In the next episode, we are going to configure the password, the saved password. We're going to pass it from this activity to the newly created activity, and when the user updates the information, it's going to be sent back to this activity in order to save it in the database. So yeah, stick around if you want to watch this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.